something's got to change. I know you're not. I am. So I have no choice but to remove myself from that situation in order for me to grow. Because genuinely, in that situation, it was like having ankle weights with wings on. You know what I'm saying? How you gonna fly?
This is Sad Boy Radio.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Sad Boy Radio. I'm your host, Matt, and today, man, we got a very special guest. He just performed at Lolla. He's the founder of Social Introverts. He recently released not recently, but most recently released his project, Love Letter to the West Side. Man, introduce yourself, bro.
Yo, it's your boy Mike DFG, man, representing the west side of Chicago, bigger than the city shit.
What's going on, bro? How you feeling? Hold on. First of all, we got to start off at, how did you make the Lolla connection happen?
That was just a product of me working in the nonprofit organization scene. Shout out John Walt Foundation, all my aunties, Nichelle Pugh, and Pinky Ring. So they always had like a Tip Fest stage at Lolla, right? So this year they ended up giving John Walt Foundation 2 stages at the Buckingham Fountain. They was gonna do 4, like for all 4 days, but they was like, nah, let's do 2, make it mean more. So I was in an apprenticeship last year for John Walt Foundation when I was like 20. And I received a scholarship from the John Walt Foundation. And everybody who received that scholarship from them ended up performing at Lolla this year. So I was just honestly blessed to be one of those people. And I'm so glad that I was able to just, bring my marketing prowess to it and make it DFG Palooza.
So how do you end up at the John Walt Foundation?
So I started off at Guitars Over Guns when I was like 14. Like I was at Lane Tech, and then my homie Nate was like, yo, you should join this After School Matters program. And I said, bet. That's how I bought my first real TV. That's how I started my vinyl collection. But it started to become more than just the little stipends you get and shit. Genuinely speaking, I really found peace and community within that realm of artistry. You know what I'm saying? That's where I met Ad 2. That's where I met Andrew DeMiro. That's where I met Pinky Ring. And now Auntie Nichelle Pugh from the John Walt Foundation. So the John Walt Foundation came so organically. I applied. Shout out Auntie again. She vouched for me. Pinky vouched for me. And then I got in. And then that's how I was able to make Love Letter to the West, man. Because without the John Walt Foundation, I wouldn't be able to make that cover, because that cover is handmade. Like, that's an actual piece I got at my crib right now. I'm about to hang it up when I go home. But we hand cut my baby photos and we pieced it together. Shout out Yessie. Yessie_Oasis is the artist that helped me put that together, because I'm not talented with no scissors. Arts and crafts, nah, bro. But I give you the vision and I just need somebody to help me out. You know what I'm saying? So with that, we made that as a collaborative piece for the John Walt, and that just ended up being my album cover.
So it all starts at After School Matters.
All starts there.
You build up, you end up at Lollapalooza with John Walt, but throughout that, you mentioned that you found community and you found peace. What was it you needed to find peace from?
Growing up on the West Side, it was a lot of trauma. It was a lot of loss, grief, gun violence, cancer, etc., right? So I needed to find like-minded people that kept me on the right path. That was just like, dude, you meant more from this, right? Like my homie Q, he was really the one person that told me, like, at a very early age, it was like 8th grade, bro. He told me, bro, take this music serious, bro. And honestly, that's why I'm still here. Like, had I not listened at the time that I did, it would have been so many doors that I missed out on.
This might come off wrong, but I'm going off the words that you said. Do you feel like prior to that, you didn't matter?
I definitely had problems with identity and trying to figure out what did I want to do in life. Because honestly, I went to high school. I mean, I was always a smart kid. I had like a 3.0 GPA. That's how I got to Lane. So I was going there for video game design for real. So I decided like, nah, this ain't for me. Sophomore year, tried out music. Shout out Mr. C. A white man taught me hip hop. It's crazy, right? But not really taught me hip hop. He just taught me how to like make beats and you know what I'm saying? And he actually spotted me my first microphone, peak COVID, because he was like, I don't see anybody using this, so I know you will. So just use it. And I still have that microphone. I'm gonna put it in the case and I'm gonna just because that's how my career started. Because without that, I wouldn't be here right now talking to you.
But why was it you had felt like your self-worth was so low?
Clout. Honestly, like that's like one of the worst drugs you can be under the influence of. Like genuinely speaking, you look on Instagram, you see social media and stuff. It's just like all a facade, bro. It's not what you really want. You know what I'm saying? It's just all a fallacy. But the more I got older, the more I realized I'm like, bro, fuck them numbers. Just focus on the impact and everything else will fall into place, bro. And I'm a living testament of that, bro. Like genuinely. So now that I realize what my purpose is in life, like I can't be touched right now.
And it shows, right? Because you end up at Lollapalooza, you're able to do this big festival with John Walt. In what ways have they helped you identify your value and helped you grow as an artist?
We did way more than just like what meets the eye in a apprenticeship, right? One of the first things we did a hot seat of everybody had to sit in a chair and everybody had to say a compliment about that person, right? Making us be okay with giving ourselves praise and our flowers, right? Also, another thing is they made us write down poetry, like of how we feel about certain prompts, what emotion that invokes, um, etc. Right? It's just a lot of shadow work you have to do in order to figure out, you know, who you are as a person. Like I found my new community, Plaque Boys, with Fidel and Youngin. You know what I'm saying? Another plaque. You feel me? But it's just like without that being at that specific point in my life, I would not be here perfectly. You know what I'm saying? Because Love Letter is definitely the project that changed the narrative on my artistry for sure. Line of Fire cracked that door open. Love Letter just kicked it all the way down for me, honestly.
In what way?
Like, genuinely, it gave me a lot of respect. A lot of people weren't doing rollouts. So when I cleared my profile, people thought I got hacked. And then I posted the first trailer on October 1st. My birthday was on the 3rd. It was just like perfect. I've never seen a more perfect rollout. And I'm so glad I chose the drop date when I did. Because, bro, Tyler and fucking Kendrick dropped immediately after, bro. And I was like, I got 2 weeks of post promo. That's why I promoted it to this day. Because it's like, bro, I'm not finna let that die, bro. Like, I got to give it its proper flowers. You know what I'm saying? So, we still got more of that on the way. But, yeah, man, everything is divine timing, for real.
So why was it so important for you to create this body of work that was a love letter to a side of the city that gets a lot of love but also receives a lot of hate?
I have a love-hate relationship with my childhood home, right? Because the way I left wasn't ideal. But when I left, it was perfect. In hindsight, you know, I ended up fighting my stepfather and shit, like over my mother. You know, I don't really don't talk about this shit on internet and shit, but it's just the truth. But me and my mom, we passed shit up. But it's just, I'm not gonna tolerate any disrespect from nobody. Like genuinely speaking, like if I have strong morals and integrity of what I ever believe in, I'm gonna stand on that. And whatever consequences come after that, or whatever domino effect happens. Because without that, I still wouldn't be here. A lot of those songs wouldn't get written without the emotion that I had to go through from that. Because I drew back from experiences that I had, right? Rebirth was like every track on there had a specific emotion of how I was feeling during that time. Because the way I think about albums is it's like a screenshot or like a time capsule of how you were feeling from that point. So it was from then back 2 years when I first got into college, even like my early childhood days. That's why we started off with the VHS. That's why we started off with that, and then you hear me narrating that shit. It was perfect. Honestly speaking, like I wanted to make sure that I felt capable of dropping something that I felt worthy to give to the world. And for me to represent the West Side, because it ain't no real West Siders. The only West Siders I know for real is like Pivot Gang and shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? And like Crucial Conflict in them, right? So with that, it was like, I got to step into that because there's not too many 290.
Wasn't Ludfo from out west?
Oh, yeah, Lil man, come on, bro. Man, damn. He needs to drop some music.
Von off 1700.
Von is out there.
Pronto.
Yeah. I mean, like, out of right now, you know what I'm saying? But Pronto Spaz out still, yeah.
Out of right now, Von off 1700 is the biggest. Von off 1700 is the biggest real. West Side artist right now.
Currently. I'll be up there soon.
I'm just saying. I mean,
for sure. But I really don't put people in those conversations. I do commend them for their work, but I don't listen. If I don't listen to certain people, I may not put them in the same conversations as other people. But I do want to acknowledge their presence.
So why is it you're not listening to that music?
Truthfully, I don't like drill music only because it's like, it just adds on to the propaganda that white America wants to put on black people, bro. Like, respectfully. Like, Chicago invented drill. Let's not get that fucked up. But right now, when you go through shit, when you see niggas die, when you see all the trauma that you get from that as a result from that shit, you kind of don't want to hear about that shit. So, and that's why my music is a bit different. It's like a breath of fresh air to the city because I don't really talk about that shit. I talk about real life shit. I talk about what I do as a person, and that shit just translates a lot better than, because it's a lot of people in the city that don't do that or can't relate to that. Sure, it's fun to listen to, but when it comes down to it, I'm all about authenticity. I'm not gonna sit here and talk about, oh, I bang this, I bang that. Nigga, I don't bang shit. I'm not a gang member at all. I'm not affiliated. And I'm blessed to say anytime I walk through any hood, I'm not in harm's way. I'm protected by God. You know what I'm saying? So that's honestly where I feel.
So something that you've continuously mentioned is this trauma, and you mention it throughout your music. Specifically, there's a song on your album called Polk and Lawndale. Why did you find it necessary to create a song dedicated to these two streets?
Those two streets hold so much value in my life. That was my first middle school. That's Gregory Elementary. You see it all over plastered. You know what I'm saying? Then you also have my family block on there. Like, a lot of my people are still on that block. You know what I'm saying? So it's just genuinely like, that's still home. Anytime I roll through there, I'm good. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's where I met a lot of my best friends. That's where I met my first best friend. All my homies came over. Courtway was like the sanctuary. You know what I'm saying? Like, anything that happened outside the sanctuary was not the sanctuary for real. So, like, I lost cousins on that block, right? In front of my crib, outside the sanctuary. It's crazy, bro. So I lost a lot. I gained a lot of knowledge. You know what I'm saying? So Polk and Lawndale holds a lot of meaning within my heart. And everybody that know me from then knows how much that shit mean to me. So I had to put that in the track.
Man, you mentioned your cousins, and
yeah,
obviously my condolences to you and your family for that. How did it impact you mentally having this place that you've called home, you have all these fond memories of, now tainted and scarred by this memory of losing people that are close to you?
Yeah. I mean, I was 6 when it happened. So, like, yeah, it was like in 2009. So me and my cousin, Tyrone, we shared the same birthday. So it was always, you know what I'm saying? It's always like, damn, I'm still here for a reason, right? Live on that legacy. But now it's like so weird because now all my family is just like, they supporting that, my dreams and shit too. So it's beautiful because it's like a blessing and a curse, right? You lose that, you lose your people, but then you also gain like the memory of that, and from that you gain motivation
The
to
memory
keep
of
going.
what?
The memory of feeling loss, guilt, and also realizing how so much untapped potential was there in their life that makes you go harder in yours to live up or just to live it out. You know what I'm saying? Because that's like one of my worst fears is dying a life unfulfilled. And I mean that in every sense, right? It's purpose wise. If I don't at least give it 110% every day that I can, you know what I'm saying? Because some days you can only do like 10%, 5%. But on those days where you really feel like you can do some shit and you don't give your all to it, then it's like, you know what I'm saying? You got to give it your all because you may not have that chance again, right? Because anything happens. But yeah. So from that trauma and that guilt of like feeling that untapped potential, that just led to me, nah, I'm gonna do this for them in a way. You know what I'm saying? Just to help push me forward.
That fear of dying unfulfilled stems from the loss of people that you had early on in your life.
Yeah, because I'm gonna put it like this. I'm older now than when he passed away. Right? So from that statement alone, it's like, damn, I've already lived a longer life than he did when he passed away. So I have no choice but to keep going and make more history for myself and bring more honor back to my family.
When you passed that age, did it fuck you up?
Bro, when I realized that shit, I was like, damn. When I realized it, I was already 2 years older. Right? Because I think they passed away at like 19. And I'm 21 right now. So it's like, it fucks with you because you realize how much time goes like quick. And I'm like, oh shit. Luckily, I'm catching myself and I'm being more present in every day. But yeah, nah, it definitely fucked me up a bit. But it's always nice to know that you're exactly where you're supposed to be.
Is that the immediate memory that comes to mind when you think of those two streets?
Honestly speaking, bro, it's literally my grammar school because that's where I spent 8 years of my life, like learning who I was as a person, like being one of two people out of my graduating class to go to a selective enrollment school. And it was either Lane Tech or Curie or fucking Manly, which is the neighborhood school. No knock on Manly, but so many people was like, bro, you better take your ass to Lane Tech and do something with that. And I'm like, shit, I bet. Because a lot of people don't make it out. You know what I'm saying? That's why I even put it in the song. Like, I'm from the West Side. Most don't make it out. Simple as that. And I was one of the ones that did. And from that, I went to Columbia. So I'm there currently, still making it out.
But how much of that personality that you built over at your elementary school is still truly you, right? Because once you leave and you become this adult, like all these things change. Like, yes, you set a foundation, but that foundation that we talked about earlier, right? Where you didn't really have self-worth, you didn't understand your value, that all changes as you're in high school and you move into the John Walt Foundation, you're in college. So why is that foundation so, I don't know, important to you, I guess, when you reflect back on these streets?
Honestly speaking, I do this to make my inner child happy. Like, I want to be the example that I needed when I was younger, right? Because I was raised by a single mother, a single black mom on the west side of Chicago. You know what I'm saying? I was mainly in the crib. I played video games for real. So, like, I hear the commotion outside, but me and my homies, we would be inside playing video games. They kept us safe, right? Like, I still got the same homies that I was with back in middle school. And they're seeing me live out my dreams right now. Like, my homie said he was crying seeing me perform at Lollapalooza, bro. So that shit crazy. Like, to see the growth of all my homies around me, because let's be real, let's get into it. Toxic masculinity is very fucking prominent, bro. Like, I was the main nigga I was the main homie out of my friend group to be like, yo, I love you, dog. They be like, man, you know what I'm saying? You know, right? It shocks you at first when you tell your homie you love him. But now they start to tell me that first. And I'm like, see, they're growing, they're maturing, they understand the value of a person and how much they mean to somebody, right? It don't matter who you are. If you love them, you tell them you love them because you never know when's your last time you can tell them that, right? So with that, I do it to make sure that Lil Michael is happy. I make sure he knows that you're cool. You know what I'm saying? Like, we came out great. Everything we went through was perfect.
Do you feel like that's the words that you needed to hear though? That's why you did it? Because in the song Rebirth, you say, too many silent soldiers deal with problems on their own. Where I'm from, scared to say love. Just call me when you're home.
That was the way of saying I love you, bro. Like, before, me and my nigga said, yo, I love you, dog. Hit me when you home. Make sure you text me when you're home safe. That was the equation of it. But now we got to a point where it's like, nah, fuck that shit. I'm gonna tell you this shit. I don't give a fuck how you feel about it. It's gonna happen.
Why start it though?
Because it allows vulnerability and it allows growth. Like, I seen my homies cry. I ain't never seen them niggas cry ever. But I seen my homie Q cry. And I was like, damn, that made me cry. Because I'm like, if you're willing to be vulnerable in front of like a bunch of people just because of me, out of just like sheer love, bro. Like, he was giving me my flowers because it was an interview that we were doing. And it was like, he had said, every time I talk to him, he's like, bro, you know you better than me, right? And I truly feel like without him, I wouldn't be rapping this hard, right? So I tell him that, like, bro, you got this shit. And he like, bro, how am I gonna be better than you and you doing all this? And he broke down. And I'm like, bro, that's the reason. You gotta understand there's a lot of humility that comes with it. You gotta be humble. You gotta understand where you're from, of like inner peace.
I'm still trying to understand, like, why even start telling your homies you love them, right? Because you're talking about it allows for growth and it allows, for vulnerability. But why did you need that from them?
I think it stemmed from not having like a father figure tell me that until later in my life. But it also helped me break some of their generational curses because a lot of my homies were kind of like the same in a sense. So I know if I needed to hear that, they probably needed to hear it more. You know what I'm saying? So that's where I came from in that mindset, right? Because all we got is our moms for real. So as a man telling another man, hey, bro, I love you, nigga. You know what I'm saying? Straight like that. You have no choice but to like, damn, all right. You feel me? It's just all out of love and respect for each other.
So then how was it you found your environment impacting the way that you processed emotions?
You get desensitized to a lot of shit. In every sense of the word, bro. Like, whether it's like not showing emotion to women, of not showing emotion to like death, gunshots. You know what I'm saying? It's gotten to a point where I used to just hear gunshots and just be, you know what I'm saying? You get desensitized to a lot of shit when you grow up in nothing but traumatic areas because that becomes your new normal. But it shouldn't have to be like that. You know what I'm saying? You should be able to feel emotions and be able to process that. Like, once I left that environment enough, I started to see like, damn, I need to make a change here. How can I do that? And that's when the fucking motor started clicking. And I was just like, I bet this is how I'm gonna do it. And I'm starting to do it. I'm laying the brickwork right now. You know what I'm saying? The groundwork has already been laid. Now it's just time to build up.
Do you feel like because of the environment you came from, you had to bottle certain emotions?
100%. Like, it was very, Like you couldn't cry. You know what I'm saying? It was still in that generation where, oh, men don't cry. Boys are not supposed to cry. You're not supposed to be hurt. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, nah, but I feel these ways. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm a very intelligent person when it comes to my emotions. You know what I'm saying? And I wanted to make sure that any emotion that I felt, I wanted to know the reason behind it and how can I fix it or how can I adjust to it. Because if you crying and you crying and you crying, but you're not figuring out the reason why you crying, you don't know how to change and how to stop from crying because you're just gonna keep crying. You know what I'm saying? But genuinely speaking, bro, like, yeah, it really did. Like, yeah, it fucks you up.
I think the important part is doing the work, right? Doing the work to figure out what the problem is. And I think a lot of the times we don't want to look within, right? We're kind of scared of what we're going to find sometimes because we know we've probably suppressed something. Like if you really sit down and you go through everything that's happening to you, you're going to be like, damn, what the fuck? But even with that, a lot of us don't want to admit when we're broken and we don't want to have to do the work to change things, right? There's the saying that if you want change, you need to make changes in your life. People complain every single day that they're in the same position, but they don't want to change anything about their situation. And it's so funny to me because I remember back during the pandemic, a lot of the times when I need to get better, like mentally, it starts with the physical part, right? So back in the pandemic, everybody's drinking, gain weight. Then I'm like, all right, let me go lose some weight.
Hey, bro, I was definitely out, bro. I had them pandemic pounds jumping, boy. I was like 200, 210,
Oh
boy.
shit. Hell no, 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 no. I didn't get that
Boy,
big, but
shit, I got big as hell, boy.
I lost the weight and that was the best I ever felt. That was the clearest I ever felt mentally. Time passes, you go back into routine habits, you start popping out with people again, and it's cool. And then recently, about 3, 4 months ago, like there was a lot I didn't like. I didn't like the situation I was in. I didn't like how I looked. I'm like, damn, this shit's fucked. And I was like, all right, it's time to lock in for real. And I decided to change the situation. I decided to change what my everyday life looked like because I didn't like what that looked like anymore, right? And that was a hard thing to do. That was a hard thing to sit there and say, like, I don't like this, so I'm going to change these things about myself. And on top of that, maintain everything that I love and what I do, right? Because when it comes to doing this, it's like, how do I maintain the biggest part of my life while also trying to change other major parts of my life? And I used to say it all the time when I was going through a breakup that it was easy for that person to blow up their whole life and change everything about themselves if they wanted to, because they did change a lot. And it was hard for me to do that because the biggest part of my life is something that I do every single week. The biggest part of my life, I could never blow up. I have to rework around it. So when we talk about that, discussing emotions and feeling your emotions and displaying that, I think the hardest part about that is when you're told you're not able to, but on top of that, being okay with not being able to for others, right? I don't know if that makes sense.
That made concise sense, like clear, boy. Cause, bro, I ain't gonna lie, being where I'm from, a lot of people won't believe in you until you actually show work that you make it, right? People won't believe until you make it, bro. It's crazy because like they'll see you grind, they'll see you building, they'll see what your goal is if you tell them, right? They're not gonna probably help you. Well, some might. I'm not gonna say all. Some people might help you to get there, but they'll only pop out when it's time to. As in, oh shit, you just did this? Oh boy, I always believed in you. What the fuck was that when I had bro, I was here. I was right here. You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, you know how many people blew up my line from high school? I ain't talked to these niggas in years since I graduated, since I had math class, trigonometry, whatever, right? And they like, bro, I always thought your music was fire in high school. No, the fuck you didn't. Stop lying to me, bro. Like, you ain't gotta lie, bro. But I thank you. You know what I'm saying? That's how I know I'm doing everything right, because the people who don't believe in you will eventually come back around to start supporting you just so they can say, oh, I was here first. You weren't here first.
But I think that that's a consistent thing that I've seen recently too, is that,
Yeah, it's a lot of double backing.
well, not even just the double back, but you have to be okay with people that you once knew or people that you thought would support you not supporting you.
It's so crazy, bro.
And that's what people get stuck on at the beginning. Whenever they start something, that's what they get stuck on. And that's why a lot of people stop, because they're like, well, the people that I know aren't supporting me, so why should I keep going, bro? This go make some fucking fans.
Bro, all right, bro. Real talk. I always had this thing called the 1% method, right? My math might be off right here. Don't judge me. But it's like what? How many people in the world? 8 billion? I'm gonna just say 8 billion. 1% of 8 billion is like, oh no, shit, like 800,000, I guess. If I'm right, 800,000. But just off that alone, right? You can make a living off of that if you learn how to move with those people, right? You know what I'm saying? That's a bro, 800,000 people is a lot of fucking people. You could even take it a step down. You know what I'm saying? I've seen people make like that's like merch, touring, whatever, right? Bro. And what's funny is a lot of that won't even be your family, your closest friends. You just really gotta choose to continue to do it for yourself. I started off music because I wanted to make music I wanted to hear. And just so happened people started to listen to it. And it was like, oh shit, you made this? I like this too. And I'm like, oh shit. Okay. If you like it and I like it, let me keep making the shit that I like so y'all can like it more. And I'm not folded on that. Like, I gotta like the beat first. I'm not finna hop on any beat. I'm not finna hop on any song that I just like, oh, my fans might like this. No, I don't care. I like it.
I mean, I get it. I understand where the logic comes from, like of not wanting to keep going because your people aren't supporting you. Like I was there. I was there for like a year or two, and again, it was another thing that I said.
Try that, but with you ain't never gonna be shit too. Like, cause you can hear that too. Right? A lot of people can actively downplay your dreams as you're trying to accomplish it. I don't know why you keep trying to do this. I don't know why you keep trying to do that. You ain't gonna ever make it. Right? You hear a lot of that shit too. And that shit definitely fucks with your psyche. Like, bro, I had to find so many external sources when it came to this shit. Like, just for me to be able to just be right here, post Lala, talking to you about this, and then looking back at the journey, like, damn, it was a lot of people that thought that nigga just he just gonna be a SoundCloud rapper, right?
What bothers me the most is when people hit me and they're like, "You're still doing that podcast?" I'm like, dog, what?
You still doing that music thing?
I'm like, are you not seeing my shit? Like, did we not just hit 30K? Like, did we not just do 1 million on a video? Like what are we talking about?
I know you see me see that Lollapalooza post, bro. I did 2 and they both blew up. That's probably the most likes I had on the post.
So I'm like, damn, that shit's crazy. And I'm like, am I doing something wrong? Like, what am I doing wrong? But Man, I don't know. Lately, I've been a little. I stay humble all the time. I'm gonna just say that I stay humble, but lately I've been feeling this shit because I'm like, we got a couple reels doing some shit. We posted one for Lala. I posted like a Mariah the Scientist Young Thug video, right? This shit did 2 million. I'm like, bro, if I did like, you know how there's like so many different people that do so many different types of content that I was like, damn, if I did what y'all did, I would still kill it.
That's what I'm saying, bro.
I hate.
Like,
My bad. I don't mean to cut
no,
you off.
no, you
The
good.
one thing I hate is people that don't make their own original content.
Oh my god!
Like,
can we talk about
like
this shit?
they take other people's content, like they took other
Oh.
interviews, they posted it on their page, and then they got 1 million on that video.
Bro.
And I'm like, y'all didn't even do this. Y'all didn't even do the work. I do all my own work.
Come on, bro.
That's all I gotta say.
I'm gonna put that into the music perspective, right? Shit, you brought up an excellent point. A lot of people in the scene are excellent, right? But then there's few that's kind of like trying to take the shortcuts, the short routes, right? And I'm like, me personally, nah, bro. I mix and master. I engineer. Shit, I used to produce. I just got back into producing, right? I do everything in-house. Dolo, marketing, Dolo. The only thing I ever got help with was my music videos because I'm not skilled with that camera yet, but I will be. Like, I do a lot of shit on my own because I want to. Like, it's nothing but authenticity. Everything you get is from these hands. You know what I'm saying?
Do you feel like part of that holds you back though?
At times, yeah, because you can also find connections or say if you got another engineer, right? Because I do have other engineers besides just me, right? And if they really fuck with you, they can put your shit in rooms that you haven't even stepped in, keep your name circling in places that you haven't even spoken in yet, right? That's just the integrity of the people you mess with, right? So luckily I have those people that's keeping my name in the rotation. Like, hey, have you heard about Mike DFG? He doing this shit, bro. He from the West Side. Tap in with him. And that's just off the love, bro. And for that, I'm forever grateful and loyal to people who are loyal to me.
I'll say this. I think you have one of the more polished sounding raps out there in the city. I think it sounds really good. I do think the master could be
For sure.
better. For sure.
For sure. Yeah, for sure. I mean, I just use regular ass isotope 9 shit. But no, 100%.
Like that shit sounds like a real record. You know what I'm saying? Like there's songs out there that like people get mastered and it still don't sound like shit.
Bro, just wait.
I'm a hater this week.
Nah, bro, like 100%. Genuinely, I don't like a lot of shit people put out. I really only listen to my homie shit for real. If I'm being honest, I really kind of detach myself from the mainstream, if I'm being honest, because a lot of that shit just sounds carbon copy. Me personally, bro, I'm here for authenticity. I'm tired of just hearing the same old shit, record after record, same shit. Oh, you fucked another bitch. Oh, you got another chain. Oh, you got another car. Oh, what else?
I think a lot of the authenticity comes from the record Rebirth, right? There were like 3 quotes I pulled from there. But the one I wanted to point out was where you say only banging tombstones or city blocks that we don't own. Most of my dudes ain't never met a place they called home. What was it you meant by that? Most dudes ain't never met a place they called home.
So, I mean, it's the truth. Like you either banging a tombstone, aka you're dead, like, or you banging a block that you don't own. Like me, I'm about ownership, right? You over here repping a block that none of your people own, right? Now, if that was your block and you own that block, you get all the bragging rights in the world. But 9 times out of 10, a white man probably own that block. So y'all just killing each other. And as soon as you die and your family, whatever, right? Y'all got to relocate. What happens? He's just going to move in another tenant, right? Like, people become a statistic off that shit, bro. And it's either you going to be banging this. Wow, bro. Like, thank you for saying that shit. Cause I was just like, yeah, nah. And then like a lot of my people ain't never met home. Like a place to call home, like to genuinely be yourself in, to not have to fight with yourself every day, right? People that constantly tell you that, hey, I love you, I'm here for you. What do you need? You know what I'm saying? Like genuinely care about you and want to see you win and do whatever you have your mind set on, right? When it comes to that, bro, I haven't seen too many because like everybody need love for sure. So it's nice to see a certain person who you know haven't received love get that. Because if you ain't had some shit for so long, when you finally get it, the most grateful. You gonna hold on to that shit forever, bro. And it's just like it's a beautiful feeling seeing people win that deserve it.
You know, I like that you bring that perspective because recently I've been talking so much about when you get what you want and what you've been chasing for so long, it usually doesn't feel like what you expected it to.
And the reason for that is because, quite frankly, you ain't been through shit yet. Honestly speaking, like I was homeless 2 years ago. So when I finally moved into my crib last May, tears of joy, right? From living in your car, going through that, I probably wouldn't have been as grateful to have a place right now if I didn't go through that. Because it would just feel like, okay, okay. But actually hitting rock bottom and getting all the way up to where you needed to be, that's the change. That's where the gratitude comes in. The longer you're in a fucked up situation and the longer you got to fight to get out of that determines how grateful you will be in the future when you get that.
You ended up living in your car because you got into the fight with your stepdad.
Yep.
Your mom basically chose him over you.
Yep.
Where did that place you mentally?
And we're going to draw right back to where we were saying of people don't want to evolve. It's like you can choose to be stuck in an environment that does not benefit you. And you know that. Now, you have people telling you, hey, this doesn't benefit you. But yet you don't want to look inward and try to figure out how to move when it comes to that, right? You're going to be in the same loop, same cycle, right? Something's got to change. I know you're not. I am. So I have no choice but to remove myself from that situation in order for me to grow. Because genuinely in that situation, it was like having ankle weights with wings on. You know what I'm saying? How you gonna fly? You know what I'm saying? So it's like with that situation, I just look back at it with, I'm glad that shit happened. Because had that not happened, I would have never reconnected with my father. Because that was a direct result of that, right? That's what I'm saying. Trauma can also lead to blessings. As long as the person that's going through that trauma looks for better and not for worse.
Why did you look for your dad if he wasn't ever present?
That was for me to complete myself as a human, right? We were talking about earlier, right? About wanting to have a male figure, a positive role model in my life, right?
So you were looking for a positive male figure in your life.
100%, because I technically never had it, even up to that point. Because if I had to fight my stepfather, who was supposed to be the positive role male figure in my life, he's a shitty one. You know what I'm saying? Because I told him I don't respect him as a man. So let me go find somebody who I actually can respect, right? And luckily, I found my father at the right point because he was actually making a change in his life. Having another daughter changed him. So with that, I started to realize, damn, I'm more like him than I thought. And I'm like, okay, this is where all that shit started connecting. Everything started clicking because I'm like, I was always wondering, why do I do this? Why do I do that? Why do I do this? Living with my pops put a big ass mirror, a crystal clear ass mirror to me. I'm like, damn, I get it from this nigga. I get it from him exactly.
Did it bother you that you were so similar to him?
It was eerie, but not disturbing. It's comfortable. Because I'm like, I get it. I get what you do that for. I know exactly why you do that. And it's nice to feel understood without having to explain yourself. Like, me and my pops will play video games. We start yelling at shit. That's normal for us though, because we're mad passionate. Bro, we play Mario Kart competitively. Every time I slide over, he like, bro, you trying to play some Mario Kart? Madden.
How old is he?
Bro, damn. I don't know. I think my pop's almost 50. But, bro, he the one that put me on to video games for real. Like, honestly speaking, like I'm not saying I never had them throughout my life. It was just sparsity. It's like very scarce here and there. Like 13th birthday, all right, cool. 8th birthday, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, it'll be a little gaps because I also have little siblings that my mom would also take care of with, you know, occasions, right? So I was the only child on my mom's side. And then I was the third oldest on my pop side. So middle child, really.
Do you feel like that's why you had self-worth issues? Because there was this person that was supposed to love you unconditionally and continuously disappeared?
Yeah, but as I grew up and I understood, I'm like, the reasonings of why. Because I always went searching for why and never judged, you know, the person because of why they did so. Because it's always a method behind the madness, bro. Like, okay, if something is bothering you this bad, why is it? What's bothering you this bad for you to act like this? And I'm seeing it in 4K. I'm like, oh shit. Because then it started rolling over to me, whether it's like people just keep constantly asking you for money, you trying to spend time with your son, and it's all transactional, right? Transactional love is no way to actually foster a genuine connection with somebody, because what grounds does that authenticity hold, right? It's only going to be, you do this for me, I do this for you, when literally when it's a child involved, that transactional shit goes out the window, bro. It's only supposed to be, hey, you being here for your kid because you want to, I'm going to let you be here for your kid. Because other than that, you just going to create nothing but a lifelong full of trauma, and then it's going to keep happening unless somebody breaks the cycle. So like with me personally, I searched for a while with my pops, and I was like, I get that. You just wanted peace. You didn't want to hear that. You wanted to, but you wanted to make sure your life was straight. Bet. Because when I needed you, you were there, and I commend you for that. And I tell him that every day. I'm like, bro, I love you. Thank you. And he like, man, nigga, that ain't nothing, man. You my son. I was like, nigga, shut up, dad. Bro, when you meet my pops, if you ever meet my pops, just know it's me, but just older and just like more rambunctious, bro. Like genuinely. So when it came to that, it's just like we really had some real talks, and it broke down every reason. And then it was like an arc completed. Now I'm a full man, because I was half a man because I lacked guidance from my father. But my mom definitely did everything that she could as a woman for a black man. But as a black man, you need another black man to guide you.
Why is it people say that?
Because genuinely, honestly speaking, it's weird, bro. It's like you're not a full human if you're only 50%. So like my mom gave me the 50%, and the reason why we would butt heads is because I was going through shit that she didn't know how to handle, right? Because you can talk to people about certain shit, but sometimes it just won't translate because of the knowledge factor, right? But my pops knew exactly what I was talking about. Oh, okay, yeah. So I'm getting the guidance that I needed, and it came at a perfect time. And now I know how to navigate through life on both ends, how to be emotionally mature as a man, right? And like still be a gentleman at the same time, because my pops having a daughter changed him. I swear to God. He used to be, man, I'm out here with these hoes. Got married. He sat the fuck down. He sat down. He ain't had no more.
He had another kid at 40 some shit.
Yes. My little sister just turned 5. Big Hopi. You know what I'm saying? She owned it. She's credited. She got like 2 songs, bro. Like, genuinely speaking, bro, I do anything I can for my little sisters, man. They're one of the reasons why I keep going. Because, like, genuinely speaking, they see me as the cool big brother now. And that shit makes my heart smile. Because I wasn't even trying to be the cool big brother, but now that I am, I gotta live up to that shit, bro. I cannot disappoint my little sisters, bro. Like, come on now. I bought little sister trike. My other one, like, oh shit, you got sponsored by Zoomies. I'm gonna get her a skateboard. She don't know that, but I'm gonna get her one. You know what I'm saying?
You're sponsored by Zoomies?
Yeah, bro. Come on now. Like, it's a lot of shit that go under the scenes, baby. But we all blessed. And that's the main thing I love doing, is just giving back to the people who deserve it.
We talked a lot about you on your journey and forgiving your father. How do you get to the point of forgiving your mom? And is that the reason why you feel like forgiveness is so heavy on you recently?
Forgiving for yourself and just trying to really, really, really forgive is very hard, because then it's like, sometimes it's like, nah, fuck that shit. You did this. But then it's like you're just harboring hate at the same time. Don't get me wrong. You're right. In every fucking reason, you're right. But at the same time, do you want that to like impact your life that you have? Do you want that to impact the relationship? It's a little dicey, bro. It's my mom. I still, you know what I'm saying? 6 feet under somebody for her, but at the same time, she almost let somebody 6 feet under me. So, with that being said, keep it at a distance. But her birthday was today. I called her.
You lost the fight, bro.
Hell no, cuz. Hell no, bro. Come on now. Nah, but I'm saying, bro pulled out a machete. He tried.
Oh, shit.
I left, nigga. Hell yeah, nigga, I left. The fuck? Nah. If I had a pole on me, I couldn't even get a pole, bro. Nigga, I was 19. Nah, I was 19 at the time. I can't get a pole legally, bro. It was over with. Because it was like, all right, I shoot the nigga out of self-defense, but I still got an unregistered gun. We both fucked. He dead. I'm in jail. Right? You see what I'm saying? That's a double jeopardy type situation, cuz it's but it's cool though, bro. It's cool. You know what I'm saying?
To your point, right? You have to forgive for yourself.
Yeah. So I forgave her, but I'm very mindful of how people are, and I'll truly forgive her once I see change.
So when you mention trauma from past relationships, is it trauma from your family, from your parents, or actual like significant other relationships?
Oh, significant others too, man.
You talk about the trauma from the significant others. In the song God Sent, you say, I can't get you off my mind. I'm having nightmares. You stay in my dreams at night. You waking me up, but you ain't in my life. What did it take for you to forgive this person that you're referencing in the song?
Forgiveness on that part is a very hard subject, because it's like, nah, bro. You almost tried to take everything I had, bro. You tried to kill my greatness, the motherfucker Fugazi. And that's even a bar in itself, because I made the song Fugazi about people that was like really active Fugazi for real, bro. Like fake, just snakes. Some people not living their truth. And I was like, all right, cool. I can't make no hoe my wife, bro. That was like my main thing. I was like, look, and I kind of double backed on my word, and I figured out, yeah, bro, DFG Galatians, verse 1. Don't make no hoe your wife, bro. And that shit came back to bite me in the ass, because I almost did, but I got out.
Because you tried?
Bro, I tried. I ain't gonna lie. I tried. But I didn't see that until it was damn near too late. But I had the wherewithal to break that relationship off.
What is it you reference when you say that they were trying to take your greatness?
I almost died 3 times.
3 times? Because of her?
Between domestic abuse, between motherfucker taking the wheel while I was driving on the E-way on some Fast and Furious shit, pulling it from the passenger seat. And I'm trying to Dominic Toretto that bitch back the other way. We ain't hit no other car, but we slammed the wall though.
That girl was crazy.
Yeah. Gave her a career.
You said you gave her a career.
Yeah, basically, shit. People know I made that motherfucker, bro. Let's be real. But that's just a testament to my greatness because I'm just like, it's whatever, right? Because I got to walk in the same places as this person all the time sometimes, right? And I'm just like, praise God that I got out of that. I feel bad for whoever they with next.
Why did you stay for so long?
Honestly speaking, bro, I didn't know no better. It was a toxic relationship. It was like my first real relationship outside of high school. So it's kind of like emotional immaturity, bro. Like, and then it was like, I didn't know how to get out, right? Because I bended on so many morals, right? And it was like, nah, I got to stick on this one moral of like, if you cheat on me, I'm gone. And I held on to that one because I bended on everything else. So I was like, damn, all right. For sure. And I was like, bro, I did a removal prayer. If you ever want to see some shit happen in your life, do a removal prayer. And I guarantee that shit really helps because I'm talking within an hour. Got the call. Got cheated on. Broke up with her ass. And that's when the start of the art came. I sat down after that. I planned out my whole year in advance, 2024, the year that changed my life as Mike DFG, or his life, right? Because like, I had that shit planned out from the jump and I hit every single metric perfectly. From the drop dates, I had 2-2 lined up. I had 10-10 for Love Letter lined up. I didn't hit 4-4 for Line of Fire. So I just moved at the 425 because I just wanted to add Godson on there. I needed to add more songs. 2 shots. I needed to add more songs. And it worked out better because it gave my fan base more shit to listen to. But had I not chose to leave that situation, I would have been stuck and my career would have been on the back burner. But now, they can't even sniff the success that I even have.
So then what is it you find yourself still holding on to from that relationship?
It's just the fact of them trying to take me out before I had a chance to experience this right now. So that's why I was like, oh no, I can't ever forget you. If you would have killed me then, I wouldn't be right here talking to you. I wouldn't be able to do Lala or anything, right? Because I'll be gone. So I think that's where the mental thing comes into play at, because I'm like, nah, bro. I don't even want to have you think you have a chance to be friends, close, associates, none of that. You stay over there, I'm going to stay over here and continue winning. I'm going to unblock you so you can see me win every fucking time. Even though, you know what I'm saying, I keep it blocked, you still going to see it. It's just the name of the game. But honestly speaking, I just don't want, I'm going to put it like this. I'm not going to allow myself to forgive someone who caused me so much pain to heal from and trauma, right? Unless it's for me, truly for me. But right now, I'm not at that point.
I think sometimes we think that we've forgiven people and we convince ourselves that we did. And you never really feel at peace because you never really did.
And I felt at peace with not being at peace with that situation because that's a very strong fucking emotion. Almost dying in a relationship.
Yeah, I never had nobody try to...
Nigga put bleach in my egg, shorty.
Oh, no.
I'm like, what? Okay.
He tried killing you for
Yeah, so...
How'd you know there was bleach in the eggs?
Smell it. And it was over salty. Yeah. If you ever have some food, just future reference. If you ever have some food or some shit with it feels like it's too salty, don't eat that shit. Throw it up immediately. Don't play. Smell it.
What?
I'm giving you rules to the game, shorty.
I don't know if that's a game I ever want to play.
Don't. Hey, just being honest though, like on some real shit though. But when it comes to it,
And she admitted to it.
yeah, I was on FaceTime with the bitch.
Wait, hold on.
Yeah, it's a lot of psychological warfare, bro.
You were on you were on FaceTime with her when she put bleach in your eggs?
No. As I was eating it, and then she told me. Real sadistic, right?
Wait,
Yeah.
when did she make the eggs?
She made eggs in the morning, then she went to the gym.
Why did you eat some old ass eggs?
Because I was hungry. I ain't gonna lie. I mean, she cooked breakfast, and then it was like, all right, cool.
So you were FaceTiming her.
Like, she put it in a little whatever, a little Tupperware.
And she, what?
And then she put it in the refrigerator.
No, how did this conversation go? Well, hold on. You ate reheated eggs? You're bogus.
Hey, this is before I know how to cook, though. This is why I started cooking. I don't trust nobody with nothing no more, bro.
I was going to say.
I learned how to cook. The flapjack god is here. It came out of trauma, but I'm here, though. You know what I'm saying? But respectfully,
eating reheated eggs, you deserve to give some
you're
bleach
right,
in
you're
your
right,
eggs.
though. You're right. You're right for that. You know what I'm saying? Reheated eggs is definitely abysmal, bro. I should have just, you know what I'm saying? But nah, bro. Nah, you definitely don't want to play about that, bro. Look.
All right, hold on. So she makes the eggs. You take the eggs out. You reheat them bitches.
And bro.
And you FaceTime her while you're eating them?
No, she called me and was like, eat your food before, you know what I'm saying, it gets too cold, blah, blah. I'm like, not knowing to play. But I'm like, oh, shit. Afterwards, right? I didn't feel anything weird happening with my body or anything like that afterwards. You know what I'm saying? But it was just like, damn, knowing that, and you told me about that shit, it's crazy, right? And I never really told this story. So you getting an exclusive right now. But it's real shit, though. It's real shit. Like, I can't lie to you, bro.
What do you even do in that situation?
That's what I'm saying. It was a toxic relationship. I didn't know. I wanted a concrete reason to leave fully. I just couldn't be like, nah, bro. It's much easier to be like, oh, how did you break up? Oh, the bitch put bleach in my egg. But quite frankly, I wasn't ready to leave that situation, right? Because I would still be in another situation. So I kind of left both situations at the same time, right? Right when I found connection with my pops, right? So I left that environment with my mom, and I left that environment with my ex. And then that allowed me to be in my season of isolation and just allowed me to grow into the person and the being you see today. So without that,
that girl fucked you up.
Man, look, I'm cool. She almost did, but shout out therapy. That's why I'm able to just talk about it so freely. Even though it sounds crazy when I'm saying it to you, I've already made peace with that shit. In my head, I'm like, man, that shit did happen. But you still rocking.
So now do you feel like you're healed enough to maintain a healthy relationship?
Throughout that whole entire duration, I made sure to like remain true to myself, right? Because I'm a hopeless romantic in a sense. I want real love. I just want to make sure that it's reciprocated properly, right? I'm definitely in the mindset of where if it comes, it comes. And I'm just, I'm definitely open to it for sure.
What is it you still feel like you need to heal from?
Honestly, it's not even about healing. It's more about making sure that I'm the best person I can be for myself and putting all my energy into myself before I can give it out to others, right? When it comes to making sure that I'm straight before I bring in somebody else.
And I think that's a real thing. Like, I genuinely believe that shit, bro. I was just looking at, my bad. I was just looking at TikToks, and it was like 5 misconceptions that social media creates about relationships. And somebody had said, like, that you need to love yourself first. I'm like, nah, this shit's real.
You have to love yourself before you can even love anybody else. Otherwise, it's going to be a void in you forever that you're always trying to fill. But whole time, Nobody else can fill that void but you.
And even at that time, like you're not giving what you're supposed to be able to give, or you're not giving to them what they need and deserve, right?
And so now you're doing both people a disservice, including yourself, right? So to avoid that, I would just rather, I need to focus on me right now. And I'm sorry it may come to you like this, but genuinely, this is how I need to operate in my life right now. Otherwise, I'm not being a full person that, or this image that, you know what I'm saying, that you may have in your mind. Me personally, I need to do this for myself in order to be a person that I would even consider dating.
Do you think that there were some things that you had to forgive yourself for?
I had to forgive myself in not knowing
Not knowing.
the answers, not knowing what to do, right? Forgiving myself for being desensitized, you know what I'm saying? Breaking out of that. The moment I broke up with that person, I cried for the first time in 2 years, almost 2 years, right? Because I was even desensitized of that relationship. Because while domestic abuse is not okay, it is definitely common in some relationships, and a lot of people don't talk about it. It's definitely, and that stems from like upbringings, right? And I didn't go through that, thankfully. But if somebody is from that, they think that's normal. And then they'll just bring that into a relationship. And then now that's a new thing they introduce. And nah, bro. When it's like me, I'm a lover. I'm not a fighter at all, right? I mean, unless it's to protect. But when it comes to a relationship aspect, I'm a lover through and through. Fuck all that other shit, bro.
I appreciate you sliding, bro. I appreciate you chopping it up with us. Do you got anything you want to plug real quick?
I got a very, very big show coming up in October. I'm I'm not gonna announce it yet, but it's definitely happening in October. I got some crazy movies on the way, but I'm definitely excited for all these new journeys to pop up. Man, it's a lot of shit that I can't announce, but I see it's on the calendar in my head, and I'm like, gotta make sure it confirms first. But yeah, no, we got a lot of stuff on the way. I'm just grateful for the Lollapalooza opportunity. Shout out Zoomies. Shout out everybody that's been supporting me from like day one, for real, man. Like it's surreal getting to this point, and I'm just so grateful for me to be here. You know what I'm saying? Thank you for supporting the entity that is Mike DFG.
Make sure you go ahead, check out Mike DFG. Make sure you go ahead, like, comment, and subscribe. Sad Boys for real. Peace out.
This is Sad Boy Radio.